up, guys? It's us, the Grupong Dolls. I'm Giselle Ann Ildefonso, your MC for today. But for the meantime, you can call me Dozel. And here is my partner, Dosana. Dosana, is still it.
Good day, everyone. I'm Ana Katrina Dalmaceda. I'm also your MC for today, and you can call me Dosana for the meantime.
Afternoon. So, how's your life during pandemic?
It is good. Even though I'm not used to this kind of life, I really gradually get used to it, and I'm sure that you also not used to live like this, right? Now, how about you, Dosel? How's life during the pandemic?
Sana, just like you, it's not easy though. So hard. There's so many changes. There's so many adjustments. Thanks to our Father God, He's always there to guide us, to bless us, to give us basic needs for everyday life. I like that.
That's good to hear, Dosel. Before we start, we introduce to you our KADAS speakers.
Speaker Hannah Guaneta,
Princess Mylene Gaito,
Micaela Hernandez,
Nicole Andolero,
and lastly, Regine Fronda. Today, we are going to tackle and react to the speech of one of the former presidents of the Philippines, Corazon Aquino, her speech before the U.S. Congress. But before we pick our members to share the reactions, let's find out what do we know about Aquino's life before back then during Ferdinand Marcos' time.
Can we play the video? May you share to us your thoughts or opinions, reactions, any reactions to the video, Dosana?
During the time of Ferdinand Marcos, many people were forced to follow him, and Benigno Aquino Jr. was one of them, which he was even beaten to make him follow Ferdinand Marcos, but he didn't follow. Benigno Aquino Jr. did it very well, and because he did this, there was Independence Day. For the nation, Ninoy became their pleasing sacrifice that answered their prayers for freedom. The dictator already knew that Ninoy was not a body merely to be imprisoned, but a spirit he must break. Ninoy went through a lot. They locked him up in a tiny, nearly airless cell in a military camp in the north. They stripped him naked and held the threat of sudden midnight execute over his head. But despite of this nightmare, he still didn't lose, and he still did what he knew was right. Even though he went through a lot, he still fought for what he was fighting for. So people think of him as a hero, and he is indeed a hero. Thanks all. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. May you share your reaction and thoughts about this video, KADAS Mylene?
Good day, everyone. Let me share my thoughts and reactions about Corazon Aquino's speech before the U.S. Congress. Cory shared her experiences and sorrow for losing a loving husband and a good father of her family. You can see how happy they have been if she hadn't lost her husband so early. She also provided a brief narration of how Marcos suspended the Philippine Constitution and shut down the Congress, which eventually led to Ninoy's death and exile. But I'm not agree to this because there is no enough evidence. And highlighting the cruelty he has experienced in the hands of the military and the dictator, which Marcos. And that's not the right way. It's crucial. Corazon also detailed how the task to free the Filipinos and fight for democracy fell into her shoulders. And for me as a Filipino, I extremely exciting the fact that democracy and freedom matter to Filipinos more than their socio-economic situation. The Philippine people had strong values and beliefs that they would not let oppressors abuse their rights and privilege as the citizen of the country. And also the power of peaceful protest motivating me, which inspired me to take good care and give importance to the democracy we enjoy right now. Because we deserve orderly democracy for the nations and for the future. That's all, thank you.
How about you, Kadasol? What are your thoughts?
Hi everyone. In regards to the speech of former President Corazon Aquino before US Congress, she also talks about freedom, wherein her husband Ninoy Aquino said that in the ruling of Ferdinand Marcos, Filipinos don't have the freedom. That's why he made himself become a pleasing sacrifice for our own good. After the death of Ninoy, Cory decided to run as a president to maintain the freedom and democracy. Furthermore, I saw Cory Aquino how determined to fight for that, and I'm thankful for what she does. I also admired her because of her bravery that she was able to lead our country in 6 years, even though she is a woman. She proved that gender doesn't define who will be the one to rule a country. I just want to be clear that I have no bias between Aquinos and Marcoses because I know that these two family has done something right for our country. As a citizen here in the Philippines, we all know that there will be an upcoming election next year. Therefore, I encourage all of people to avoid doing vote buying. All of us have the power and the right to choose whoever we want to vote. We only have one chance, so it should not be wasted. Don't believe to the informations that is lack of credibility and authenticity. Don't be deceived in someone's choices. Instead, make a way to find out if your chosen candidate is worthy enough to vote. Lastly, I just want to say that think carefully in order not to make decisions that you will regret in the future. We have the freedom, so we must use it properly for our own good and for the good of our country. Thank you.
So, Dos Regine, may you share to us your reaction about the foreign debt that our former President Corazon Aquino said from her speech?
The indebtedness of the Philippine government is not new to the knowledge of Filipinos. Based on what I read or research, before Marcos became president, the Philippines was already in debt. I do not take sides with either of them, but I want to question what the late President Corazon Aquino said, that the Philippines was in debt but the Filipinos did not benefit. If it is so that the Filipinos did not benefit from that money, why did the Marcos administration did so many good projects that would do good to Filipinos? During his first term, he had made progress in agriculture industry and education, knowing that education is important to Filipinos this time because education is the key and the only way to get out from poverty. And not to mention that Philippines was the second richest country next to Japan during the Marcos administration.
Very well. So, Kadasel, can I ask you a question?
Sure. Sure, Dosana.
This video, the video Corazon Aquino. May we know your opinion and understanding about foreign debt of Philippines?
Cory Aquino's speech before US Congress was an important event in political history. But in my own thoughts, honestly, I'm not into Aquino's side, nor Ferdinand Marcos' side. Yeah. What she have said in her speech it's just all about the bad things happened to her husband. It's just a one-sided story. But even though I'm not into their family side, I'm impressed for what she did in order for the Filipino got what they wanted right now, which is the freedom or the democracy. And also, when it comes to the foreign debt of the Philippines, which is the 26 billion that she said Filipinos never benefited before, it's good for her that she made a move or a solution for the payments. She sought help to the Americans. So that's all that I want to say.
Let's talk about the partnership of Philippines and America's democracy. So may we pick one of our DOS members? DOS Hannah?
I just want to point out the involvement of America in implementing Philippines as a democratic country. The late ex-president Corazon Aquino pointed out in her speech the huge help of American as her comrade through the fight of freedom, the freedom of the Filipino to the dictator Ferdinand Marcos. Since America is a democratic country which binds the freedom of its citizen and government, it became a haven of its people, and other countries look up for them. One of that is Philippines. The late ex-president Corazon Aquino lived in America for a long time, and that period of time opened her eyes to the real situation of Philippines and Filipinos in the hand of dictator. That is why the reaching hand of America, Corazon Aquino held the opportunity given and started the People Power Revolution. It is a no-blood revolution of a people of the Philippines that gave them freedom to live without any guns pointed at them. This revolution is influenced by the American government, that is a democratic drive. This revolution and Corazon Aquino's bravery, Philippines regain its freedom. This freedom is now experienced by Philippines and is become a democratic country. Now, the people has a freedom in everything they do that aligns to the law. Changes the economic growth of Philippines have already showed, however, it's not constant because of changing of leadership, but it gains a good result for benefit of the Filipinos and Philippines. And to conclude, as a Filipino, I am grateful that one of my countrymen stand firm to fight for the freedom of its country. She did not doubt herself and had changed Philippine history into a good and remarkable era.
And last but not the least, let us also ask a question or the reaction about Ferdinand Marcos' Bill of Rights, Writ, and Constitution. The SEP, who else in our group member did not yet give her reaction?
I think it's DOS Micaela. DOS Ella, may you give us your reaction?
So, hi guys, I'm Micaela Hernandez, and this is my reaction video of the former President Cory Aquino's speech. So, this is my reaction. Cory's speech before the Congress of the United States of America displays the after effects of the long reign of the so-called dictator Ferdinand Marcos. For a couple of years which exceeded the prescription of the Constitution, Marcos maintained a tight grip. He became the President of the Republic of the Philippines for more than one term, which breaks the constitutional provision. He also suspended some provision of the Constitution, such as in the Bill of Rights, including the writ of habeas corpus. In his term, martial law was imposed to the whole country. It only ended when turmoil broke out against his leadership. In the speech of Cory before the U.S. Congress, it gave the audience an ample reflection how democracy is treated in the Philippines back then, how power is maintained by the Marcoses, and how it was revoked from them. This instilled how abuses are lightened without looking carefully of its origins. As a Filipino citizen, I have a great respect to the freedom of democracy to give. I have high hopes that this type of group government lasts as it gives us, the common people, the opportunity to express ourselves, our opinions and beliefs. without fear of being confined or even isolated due to preferential beliefs. Yet, I regret that some people become greedy of power, that they choose to go against the common will of the people. This I do not want to experience. I think those who stand up before power giant to uphold once again the democratic rights of everyone, the church, the poor, the common people, and the oppressed. They are the true heroes, and not anyone else, not even the Aquinos or the Marcoses. I realize that democracies throughout the world are under the siege of charisma, populist leaders who appeal to the masses on an emotional level while attempting to destroy their country's democracy in order to maintain and grow their own power. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for your participation and reaction on the speech of the late President Cory Aquino. Surely we gained so much knowledge and information from it, and to the speakers that reacts as well.
So may we give a round of applause to our dear speakers for joining us in this kind of event.